Call the. I call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Okay, it's November 1st and it's 5:31 p.m. Craig Borba,
Present.
Juanita Garner. Here. Al Jones.
Here.
David Norgard.
Here.
Deborah Schwartz. Here. Everyone's here.
Okay. Can I have a motion to accept the agenda?
So moved.
Have a second, please.
second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Okay, public comments?
Then Craig, is your microphone on? Is it just not, is the light not working?
Light's not working.
You're very quiet. Al's is off, Al's is not lit either.
It's not working.
Mine's
So
on.
like this.
Here we can trade.
It's small enough room.
I'll have to.
Except for that.
And then we'll swap public comment afterwards. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Okay, are we doing public comment now or are we gonna wait?
No, yeah, we're ready for you. We're just had to do some microphone switcheroo.
Okay.
Be sure to turn your microphone on.
It's not live, so.
And then, Craig, read your statement.
Okay, this time has been set aside for members of the public to address the library board of trustees on agenda items and items of general interest within this subject matter within the jurisdiction of the city. Although the library board of trustees values your comments pursuant to Brown Act, it generally cannot take any action on items not listed on the posted agenda. 3 minutes is allowed for each speaker. And the timer today is,
I'll do the timer.
thank you. Introduce yourself for the record, please.
Zach, not sure the character I'll be playing today, but Zachary Danielson, the full name. All right, we ready to go? All right, start. All right, guys, how's it going? This is let's see, month 6 that I've been homeless, and month 8 that I've been unemployed. Been applying a lot of places. Apparently, well, now I'm not what Palm Springs is looking for. I'm not sure. Service and retail industry, all over the place. Still looking to volunteer. So Jean talked with me earlier, said that applied with the Department of Justice for fingerprinting, so that's great. I don't know if there's a time frame that we can get overall, so that we can make sure that we're moving the way we need to, because there's plenty of us that can all congressionals, not just, people that are right here in the room. Like I said, I used to work there, or an appropriator, nonetheless, because they can actually make people move at some point. Let's see what we got here. 2 minutes, 2 seconds. All right. I didn't really have anything in general to talk about today. So I've got Robert Rules of Order here, in case there's any questions. There are, but you guys don't seem to want to go to the book. That's not any different than what city council did. You guys would probably do it. If they don't do it, you're not going to do it. Here's a great book I picked up the other day, a survival guide for a world at odds, how to think. Good. Misbelief. What makes rational people believe irrational things? A great book right here. Great book. So 2 of them, I'd like to get you guys maybe to look at some point. I want to also point out the such nonfiction. I'm a big fan of this. At one point, I'll be there for one of the discussions. But yeah, there was a flower moon this month, November 16th, and then December, Born Standing Up, Comics Live by Steve Martin. Both those sound really exciting. And then that follows, of course, in January with the solo art of Not Giving a Fuck, right? Is that what it is? I think that's what the one's on there. Yeah. All right. Well, I got one of the other things I was gonna mention. What do we got? How much time?
Less than a minute.
Less than a minute, 54 minutes. Okay. So I don't know how to exactly bring this one up. It's been a while for me. Maybe I'll think about it. Maybe I'll wait a month. Maybe I'll do the next one. Maybe it's not that crucial and important right this moment. But I wonder about some of the reading levels of people in the city. Sometimes, even I would say some of our, maybe our police chief, I'm not sure if he has his library card. There's been some things recently that have been said and done, Roger. I wonder if he can even read. Maybe that's the reason he doesn't have his library card. Same can be said for the chief of fire department. Well, he doesn't have his library card. I don't know if you guys know this, but community members love their library card. All right, that's it. Thank you.
Let's see, next is the consent agenda.
Oh, wait, no, just 1 second.
Okay,
I'm sorry, just 1 second. Is there, if anyone online, raise your hand who wants to give public comment? I didn't think so. I just wanted to be sure.
okay, consent agenda. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
I have a second.
Second?
Okay, are there any questions or concerns about any items on the consent agenda? Okay, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Administrative reports.
Okay,
Julie, what do you think?
yeah, Julie's,
Nancy?
Julie will give the report and she's just switching off the microphone to
Okay.
make sure we've got one that has a light. Just to be sure. Sorry, I think there might be some dead microphones.
Yeah, I know it works.
Yes. Sorry about that. Yes, so I'm reporting for the Friends of the Palm Springs Library. So the Friends during Modernism Weekend in October had a book sale, an architecture and design book sale, which went fabulous. They were able to raise several $1,000s and had such a great sale. They almost sold out of everything. So they were really super excited about that.
Great,
So thank you for everybody that came and bought and all the donations that they received. Also, they have a holiday bazaar scheduled for Saturday, December 9th from 10 to 2 at the main library. They will have specialty books, art books, gift type books. They'll have gift baskets, puzzles, CDs, things like that that could be bought and given as gifts. So please come and lots of other things. So please come and check out their holiday bazaar on Saturday, December 9th at the main library. And then finally, Palm Springs Speaks, which the Friends are the presenting sponsor for. Their first speaker is coming up later this month, Temple Grandin on November 17th. And so that's palmspringspeaks.org, and tickets are still available for her talk. And at that event, the series, other speakers for the series will be announced. So there will be 3 other additional speakers for a total of 4. So super exciting news. Can't wait to announce. And that's all the information I have for the Friends. If there's any questions.
Julie, when's the other speakers going to be announced?
On November 17th. At the Temple Grandin event. Thank you for asking.
Okay,
Any other questions?
because I hear some of them are pretty exciting, right?
They are. And I'm hoping you're sharing with all your education friends about Temple Grandin,
Yes, I am.
Dr. Borba.
How are tickets going for the November event?
You know, I didn't check today, but when I checked last week, they were going along pretty well. We have seen some advertising that we're doing has yielded some good ticket results. And then the Autism Speaks, I believe, organization is having an event this weekend that they'll also be sharing about the event. So that'll be great. And so some other things are coming up, but yes, I think ticket sales are going along pretty well, but there is still tickets available. So don't delay, get your tickets now. All right. All right. Thank you.
And if anybody has any access to gift certificates from restaurants or anything, I'm sure the Friends could use those for their gift baskets, and the money comes back obviously to the library, so.
Oh, yeah, that holiday bazaar, the gift baskets are so nice.
Yes.
And they sell a lot of those really quickly too. People are waiting at the door to come in for the bazaar to grab the gift baskets. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Julie. Item B is, Bill, are you online now?
Yeah, let me switch him over. Just one moment.
Bill will be speaking for the foundation tonight.
He's gonna move over into this side.
Here we are.
Great, go
Can
ahead.
you can hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, terrific. Thanks. There's a few things to report this month. October was pretty busy for us, and Half Pride on the Page was a great success, and we don't have final numbers to report, right now, but we will have those probably for that December meeting. And we really do think that this particular event is part of our foundation identity, and we're going to continue with this. And Julia, I don't know if you have anything else that you wanted to add. Fortunately, I was not personally able to be there, but you know, all kudos to you and Corey and everybody else that helped put that event on. I think it was great to see everything. Number two, we conducted a search for a public relations firm to conduct an awareness campaign of the foundation and the renovation and fundraising effort are going to occur. And we did select Kyle and Company, and at the meeting on October 12th, our foundation meeting, we authorized going forward. There has been an initial planning meeting with that particular group. We also have prepared a grant proposal to present to you, and you should be getting that shortly to cover the hopefully cover the costs. And we appreciate your consideration of this grant request for this particular company. Everybody's pretty excited about getting going. We think, based on the current timeframes, that right after Thanksgiving, we can put this in motion. It'll be multiple media involved, and could encompass the website and the foundation's logo, in addition to spreading the word. And it's great because the timing is such that you know, we're all seeing the surveys going out that Jeannie's sending out, and the excuse me, the monthly newsletters where the renovation project and the progress the architects are making is covered. So we think all of this media coincident with one another will really help. And we're very confident that this is going to make an impact in the community and set things up for really good fundraising. We did thirdly conduct a strategy session of sorts, or an update on our strategy with Peter Pearson. And I know I want to thank Al Jones and Jeannie for sticking with us for that portion of the meeting on the 12th. I think coming out of there, just to give you an idea, we do feel that coming or after the PR awareness campaign, that getting an executive director in and contracting with that person and helping us conduct a community feasibility study in terms of how much we think we can raise and where we could raise that, and using some professional skills of an executive director type fundraiser type person is key. And that's going to be the focus now. Once we get the PR campaign rolling, we obviously are shifting our attention to how are we going to do the fundraising and where are we going for that. And so recruitment is also a third leg of that renewed strategy, which is recruiting individuals who can help us, especially with some potentially some higher net worth individuals, and go forward with their support and their help on the board. So that's in a nutshell what the main elements that came out of that strategy session. We will be dropping to our database in the community our annual giving letter. That should be going out in a week or so. And then we did have participation with the first meeting with the architect. David Sidley was there, and I know a number of you were there as well. He's quite excited about how that meeting went and the future and so on, and where that offering is. And he informed me that the next meeting is November 29th with that architect. So that'll be great. And we're looking forward, and we appreciate the ability to participate in those meetings. So that's pretty much the report for us.
Questions for Bill? Yes, David?
Bill, this is David Norgard.
David,
Turn on your mic.
Oh,
Hi, David.
hi, Bill. The architects mentioned two decision points upcoming in the not too distant future. I don't recall offhand. And one of them being a decision about whether we engage the architectural firm to proceed with planning for all that goes beyond the basics, let's just say, that we know the state and city are covering for the most part. So my question to you is this, at this point, when is the earliest you could see the foundation proceeding with doing the feasibility study?
Good question. I don't have a great answer for you because of certain timing, but right now I know David is we're collecting names to interview for that executive director. I'm not sure we want to do the feasibility study without that person's involvement, because we would rely on their expertise. So it's a question of identifying that person, doing the proper interviews, getting the board vote, bringing that person in. And then, how do you get the feasibility, study going? I know the development committee is reviewing that particular issue. I just don't have an exact answer for you. But why don't we at the foundation think that one through and see if we can't get you a better answer for your December meeting?
That would be great. I posed the question in my rambling preamble simply because of what was discussed at the steering committee that David also, the other David also attended.
Okay.
Other questions? Bill, I have a couple of questions. The Kyle and Company, are they local? Where are they out of?
Yes, they're in the principal was part of the big creative team at Jones and Company here in town, and I think her office is in Palm Desert. She's from the Valley. She's worked. She's where I don't have all of the details on her experience level, but she's done work out at the Air Museum. She's done work. She's done work for the library as well.
That's what I was gonna say. She's actually the one who did the awareness campaign that you guys did right before COVID.
Oh, okay.
That's the same. Kyle.
So she's familiar with Palm Springs and the possible contributors from the area of Palm Springs.
Yes.
Okay. You're going to be coming to the trustees to assist you in paying for right now 2 items, I'm assuming. One would be the publicity and 2 would be for the director.
That's right. That would be our plan.
Okay. When do you think that will happen, and what do you think those dollar amounts are going to be?
So I think the proposal for the PR campaign can be delivered to you in a week to 10 days. And the ask in that grant would be for approximately $125,000. And then we're going to work on, once we get that one submitted to you, we will prepare. I've got an outline for the executive director. We know that there's details. So, for example, we can name the company that your funding would be supporting, and we can give you examples of their work, and we can do all those things. For the executive director, because we don't have that individual identified, we can't give you a resume. We can't give you a lot of detail on that. So we wanted to seek and tactically, let's get let's get going with the PR campaign, and then we'll bring the executive director in. So, Craig, so I think first comes the PR campaign in a week to 10 days, and then we hope we might be able to put the executive director to your group for discussion and analysis at that same December meeting. I don't know how
I was debating whether
many
to have
hoops we have.
December, but looks like we'll have a meeting in December.
Oh,
We
you're,
probably need-
sorry about that.
No, that's fine. That's
I
fine.
think we might need to, because we
Sorry
might have
about that.
decisions to make about the renovation
Right.
too, maybe.
The contract for the PR firm, how long is that contract for? Is that
Well,
for a
the-
year or longer?
The first phase of the project is 6 months. So the working agreement is retainer, monthly retainer, and then there are progress points associated with creative, and then there's certain monies that have to be applied to the media buys. So they kind of go in a sequence. And the understanding is that there's a 6-month trajectory on that. Frankly, we're asking for a little bit more funding than the nominal projection is right now, because we want to, where we are at 6 months from now, the iron might be hot, so to speak, and we might want to keep the momentum going, and we don't want to have to keep coming back to you for, 20,000 here and 15,000 there. So we're asking for a little bit more than that is actually stated in the projection, that we're working out and we're finalizing and working out with Kyle right now. And then I'm not sure, Greg, exactly how much this executive director would require.
Are you seeing that as
So I'm reluctant to throw out a number, because we haven't. It's going to be a part-time person, and it's going to be under a contracted type of person. So that will limit the funds.
And I'm assuming the foundation will take over the evaluation of both programs and then submit information to us, since we're funding this program. And
Yeah, and that's part of the deal. That's part of the MOU. So yes,
Okay.
there's reporting, and you'll see. Obviously, you'll see the in the PR campaign. You'll see and hear it, and then we're part of that. Obviously, we're trying to measure as much as we can at each stage of that project. So yes, we'll keep you posted. We'll keep you on top of it.
okay. Any questions from other members? I'm sorry, I had so many questions. Yes, David?
Just one further follow-up, Bill, concerning the ED role. Will what you present to us include a position description and qualifications? Are you preparing that as part of the package?
Yep, we're gonna have to have that. I think we've got. We do have a outline shell of the position description. I think it needs to be tweaked and adjusted now that we know exactly what we need, and proposal would incorporate that, so what the duties would be and so forth. So we need a little bit more time to spend on that part of it, frankly.
I have one question. Is the executive director position just through the duration of the building, or is it an ongoing position ad infinitum?
Good question.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, right now, the focus is to have a person that has some substantial fundraising capabilities. And so that's going to dictate how long and how much time and the background of that person and experience and so forth. Once we get through the fundraising, we want to continue and build an endowment. So there's a long-term support that's available to the library, and that may require a different type of person. You know, a person that may be more of a chief operating officer type person. And so we might, so that's the focus, and that also lends itself well to this, to the contracted type of person. And then we'll see, you know, what are the funding amounts that we're able to assemble, and how much can we afford, and how fast can we get to 5 or 10 million on an endowment, you know, beyond the building. I mean, I don't want to get a ski ahead of my skis, because we've got a big job to do now, between today and the time that the library is fully built. So,
Other questions? The money that you've accumulated so far, you've invested with what? Because Al and I were frustrated that we couldn't move the trust money into another investment, but where's your money invested right now?
we most of our money's in cash, because we don't have a whole lot of it, and we're trying to stay cash rich and to pay bills and so on. We've got, but in that regard, we have CDs.
Okay.
So predominantly in a CD. Now, we did put about $30,000 into a mutual fund from Vanguard, and that was just to put our toe in the water and get used to money in equities and bond. It's a mixed fund of equities and bonds. So it's a conservative fund, but so we did that just for doing that. Now that's I would say over the next 2 to 3 years, we're probably going to be dominant cash, and under the MOU, we need to transfer that money to the city as fast as we can. So we're probably going to be more of a conduit than anything. But as far as our money goes, there is a little bit of finally some interest rates that are halfway decent, and we were able to take advantage of some of that with a portion of our cash.
Great, thank you. Any other questions for Bill? Bill, thanks for providing us that information.
You bet, and thank you for your continued consideration of our needs.
Okay, item C, library staff.
Okay, thank
Jeannie?
you. Bill, I'm gonna put you back in the audience, and then if you need to raise your hand, just raise your hand. Out you go. Just a second. Here we go. Okay, I want to share my screen. Let's try this. Let's see what happens. Sure. Great, okay. I remembered what I forgot to put in here, which was the Temple Grandin flyer. Temple Grandin, it's gonna be a great event, November 17th. Sorry, I have a frog in my throat. The library will be closed for Veterans Day on Saturday, November 11th. We will also be closed November 23rd and 24th for Thanksgiving Day and the day after, just FYI. Julie is going to mention some programs, I'm sure, but I did leave this on here because it is interesting. The lecture on artificial intelligence and GPT is coming back and actually scheduled for November 8th, 6 o'clock, right? Yeah. So have your robot put that on your calendar.
Do we have to register?
No, just a free event, just a
It's a
free
go.
lecture.
Yeah.
Just come on in person. Yeah, pretty interesting program coming up.
Is this the one that was canceled?
Yeah.
Postponed, rescheduled?
Yeah.
And the time again, sorry.
6 o'clock.
Thank you.
Correct. Let me look, but we'll just look to you. Just to answer the question from public comment, just FYI, that we did apply with the Department of Justice for live scan fingerprinting. It does take many, many weeks. I think they said 6 to 8 weeks. Yeah, if we're lucky. So that's just to get approval to do it, and then we have to work with a local company to do fingerprinting. So we are working on it. It just takes a long time for everything governmental. I've got some slides to show. We did have a wonderful Pride on the Page book festival. This is a picture on the left of Armistead Maupin, along with David Perry, who helped moderate the event. That was the ticketed event on Friday. I know Al was there.
I was there.
It was a good event. Great author to have kick off the festival. Full house there. And there were a lot of people at that event. And this was held at the Cultural Center. And this is Saturday, October 14th. These are a couple of sessions that we had. We had different sessions in 2 theaters. The author on the left is help me, Christian Cooper. Christian Cooper, also known as the Central Park Birdwatcher. And I can't remember the name of the moderator, but he was great too. Lorenzo Taylor, see my little ear. They did a great lecture. I love to get him back, to have him at the library, or maybe the Friends or Foundation can have him, because he lives here part-time. So wonderful lecture, very interesting, and just a good way to kick off the Saturday. And then the picture on the right is the YA Young Adult panel. These are authors who write books for teens, and with an LGBTQ slant or emphasis. And they were moderated by Sarah from the Best Bookstore of Palm Springs, and wonderful session, lots of fun sessions. There were a lot of pictures, but not enough time tonight to talk about them. We'll talk about the architect, an update on the library renovation, but I want to mention the community survey. We've had over 500 people respond. I want to say 577 is the number that they told me today. Something like that, plus 130 some people in person at our open house. So if you would like to do the survey to tell us what you think is important in a renovated library, please click, use your camera and click on the QR code on the screen, or go to the link below. Or if you can't do any of those things, just go to our website, pslibrary.org, and there's a link on the front page that will connect you to the survey. And the survey will be open until over the weekend, and we'll probably we extended it today. And so the survey will run over the weekend, and we'll probably turn it off on Monday. And we think if we keep that open, we might end up with, something like 1,000 results. So that'd be good. Results are coming in, and it's really interesting.
We'll see the results when
they analyze them. So
okay, so they're going to analyze them.
yes, the architects are in charge of the survey. They're handling all that. They're gathering the data. And this, let me show you the back. This, okay. This is some of the in-person activities that happened at the library. October 25th, we had our community open house, and people were given dots. You all were there? No, several of you were there. And you were given dots, and also the children were given a different colored dot. So I think the children were the yellow dots. And so because the children's play spaces has a lot of yellow dots on it, and gaming and virtual reality has a lot of kids' dots on it. So yellow dots are for children and green dots were for adults. So this is just some of the pictures from the event. And here's a picture of the session in the lobby. The architects were there. I actually see a couple of you in the pictures. And they met with the community and answered questions, just got feedback, and you all feel free to chime in on that part if you, and we could talk about that later on the during the actual agenda item for the renovation, but I wanted to mention this about the survey specifically, that it's still open and you have a chance to give your input. We did also have a Halloween party at the same time. While all this is happening, we had a Halloween party, and they did a Dia de los Muertos themed magic show. And then the kids were dressed in the costumes and they did trick or treating, and we had I'm messing around with this. We had a lot of people there. This was a Wednesday afternoon, 1:30 in the afternoon. So kids get out of school early on Wednesdays, but this is a great
So
turnout. We were impressed with the number of families that came to the library on that day. And then at the same time, the teens did a pumpkin carving and had a messy fun afternoon. Indoor pumpkin carving, to my dismay, but we did. But I wanted to show you that. I also wanted to mention Drag Story Hour returned. I don't have any pictures loaded up here, but we had a wonderful program. We had about 40 people attend, and it was a very cute, fun program. The kids were having a good time, and you know, a good time was had by all but about 3. So 40 people attended and 3 people were outside. So we just leave it at that, but it was fine. We had a good event. And then Julie, you want to talk about highlight any programs?
Yes, so thank you for mentioning that the AI ChatGPT was rescheduled from September to this next week, November 8th, so that is great. We also have a author talking about her book Desert Underground at the end of November, on November 29th at 6. We're continuing our meditation mindfulness once a month lecture. That was well attended and people are really liking that, so we're doing that once a month in the afternoon on a Tuesday from 3 to 4. So this next one for November is November 21st, right before the holidays. So get Zen before the holidays. And then we have our exhibit continuing at the library through November 18th. If you haven't seen it, the Art of Drag is on display, art display through November 18th. And we have lots of great virtual author lectures every month. And so the ones this month, today was talking with right now, John Stamos. You're missing it, but we have some other great ones coming. So every month we have virtual author lectures where you can attend wherever you are. So you don't need to be able to come to the library for those.
And they're recorded.
They are recorded, so you can either attend in person so that you can live chat with the person. But if you can't attend in person, then they are recorded and you can view it later. So it's always great and interesting. I know last month we had like John Irving, which was fabulous and things. So anyway, so please check those out as well. And then I think that's kind of everything we already mentioned, with lots of great teen and kid events coming. We have Santa coming back in December for pictures, so you can wear your holiday best and come have your photo with Santa, which is always super fun. And then in December, we're also going to have a 1-month reading program, so we'll tell you more about that next month. But you'll have a chance to win some prizes and read and record and earn badges and things like that. And then we also in December will have author Wade Rouse coming, and he's going to be talking about his latest Viola Shipton book, and that's on Tuesday, December 5th. So lots of great things coming, and so please check out our library events calendar on pslibrary.org. Click events, and you can be up to date and add these to your calendar so you won't miss them.
Right, and sign up for our newsletter because we get all this in your inbox.
Yep. Thank you. Any questions for staff? That brings us to Roman number 6, treasurer's report.
It's, what's interesting, and I do have a
I'll
question,
turn it on. Yeah,
sorry,
there you go. You're good.
what's interesting, there we go. First of all, the balance ended up at 1.783. Last month it was 1.775. Really no significant changes anywhere. The only thing I can't figure out, Jean, should have asked you beforehand, it starts with a balance of 1.827. which is 10,000 more than what we started with last year, but I don't, what is the source of that 10,000?
So I'm guessing that they might have closed our books from the last year, and when they set up our current fiscal year, they budget what they estimate it will be, and then when they close out the actual books,
Yeah.
they'll bring the real balance and do a
Because we start with a balance, which is $10,000 less than than last year's, last month's balance, but anyway, there's nothing
Yeah.
significant. It's pretty straightforward.
Any
Yeah, I see
questions?
an encumbrance control in
Yeah.
September of $11,390, so it's possible that they did a correction
All right.
at that point. Yeah, not a lot of activity, $60.
Okay, can I have a motion to accept the financial report?
So moved.
Have a second, please.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that brings us to Roman numeral 7, discussion action items. This first A was brought up by trustee Jones regarding having presentations from the different subcommittees and what other committees do we have, ad hoc committees. I think that's a great suggestion because there are certain committees that we have members attend, but we never hear back on what's going on. So, but some of the committees will be redundant. We have the foundation, they present. We have the Friends, they present, or Julie does. But some of these other organizations we don't hear from. The buildings is Norgard and myself, and part of our presentation today will be done by Jeannie today, correct?
We can all present together.
Okay, together. But Measure J, which Mr. Jones is on, we never hear from them.
Yeah.
And how often are their meetings?
There's,
Every
Are they
month.
monthly?
month, yeah, they just started up again. They were dark for most of the summer again, but I've tried reaching out and I continue to reach out. We just don't have much interaction with them, and we didn't last year either. I was the liaison.
I just don't want them to forget about us.
Yeah. Well, last year I was able to stay in touch with them because Jeffrey Bernstein was the chair of it, and his friend, then he was elected to the city council, so.
Who's the chair now, do you know?
Naomi,
Who?
Naomi,
Oh, okay,
Who?
Naomi.
Yes.
okay. All right, so other suggestions regarding this, I'd like to hear from Measure J periodically. When you look on your last page, which is page 3 of the agenda, that lists all of our areas there. The budget we have covered. Buildings, we have covered. Policy, bylaws, we haven't had an issue to address that. Foundation is covered. Friends is covered. So Measure J is one of the issues that we need to
And maybe advocacy,
advocacy.
if you
update
all
on
want
that.
to start, you all, Greg, Borba. It's like you're the
Yeah,
you all.
advocate. Are you the only?
Are
one
we
of
the
them?
South right now? You all?
Well, if it's more than one, it's all y'all. Yeah.
Didn't know that. Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
yeah, you learn something every day. But advocacy, I don't know if you want to develop some sort of plan or.
Maybe we can do that. The other thing is we're all really advocates for the library,
Yeah, that's
so.
true.
So, Al, are you okay with us putting Measure J on there as an agenda item?
Oh,
And
absolutely.
then you can address it if there's an item.
It has to be there.
Okay,
I mean, we were getting funds from them last year too, which was important, and so we were having continuing conversations with them to make sure.
We're
and-
hoping to maybe get some more.
yes, so
And
hoping,
maybe advocacy and Measure J have to work together.
yeah, okay. So let's maybe put that on the,
So how do you want to handle that for your agenda? Do you want to just have an item that says
maybe,
report of committees? And then if a committee and you just run down the line, just save space on the agenda.
maybe make that Roman numeral 8 and then change what's there for 8, to make that 9.
Do you, Do you
So-
want it before, do you want it before discussion and action items, or do you want it after?
I was thinking after.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah, that makes most sense.
Okay, great.
But I like the way no, never mind. Yes,
You okay?
what you said.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, I don't know if we need a motion on that. That's just a agenda change for the
I
future.
think so,
Are we
no,
I
okay?
don't think so, no, it's just procedural.
we're just rearranging.
Yeah.
Okay, now in a more exciting area, let's go to Roman numeral 7B, which is the renovation. Do you want to stand during this presentation? Because it is kind of exciting.
No, I'm not
Okay,
gonna
all right.
stand. We had, the month of October was, the data gathering. And, we, at the library side, submitted a lot of information to the architects group about, the programs and services that we offer, our collection content, our statistics. And then they sent out engineers to come out and do site walking, and they took, even the architects took 360 photos of every room, like a real estate tour. They took 360 photos of everything, and I'm sure I'm in everyone, you know. And here's the wall, and here's the window. But they did that. We had the hazmat group come out, and they took samples of everything.
Wow.
So engineers are coming tomorrow to look at some stuff, and then next week the ARG architect, it's a historical group, they're based locally. They'll be here next week to look at the exterior of the building and kind of do an assessment of the exterior and any significant historical potential things about that. We had, like I mentioned, our survey and our community open house, and that was very well attended. It was interesting. The architects arrived and they said, you know, we've got some time. I think we'd like to go down to the Wellwood. So they rented a pickup and they threw those boards in the back of the truck and drove downtown and set it up out in front of Wellwood. And they talked to about almost 70 people downtown, and they did different dots. Are you local? Are you a visitor? And so they asked them the same thing. So they had their own boards that they did out on, on the street survey. It was fascinating. And then they came to the library, and it was, of course, the busiest day of the month with all the activities going on. It was just a frenzied, crazy, chaotic library, but that's what we are. We're just a crazy, frenzied, chaotic place. And we're very busy. And so they hit it at the right time. They got the families. They started, I think they even started early. They tried to catch the families and the kids and get input from them. And then we had our first steering committee meeting, and that included representatives from the Board of Trustees, Friends of the Library, Library Foundation, the city, engineering, library staff, and we talked a lot there. And we all did our own. We had got our own color of dots. We got red dots, and so they actually started to do some rough assessments of the data, just some bulk, but they analyzed our data from the steering committee to see what the steering committee said. Performance space showed up top of the list for the steering committee, of course, but yeah, so they are analyzing the data. They're not ready to put it all out there because the survey is still open, and you don't want to skew results by to be influencing people by saying things like I just did. But let's see. This next month in November, we're going to get down to more nitty-gritty details on cost estimates. We have another steering committee meeting on November 29th, and an in-person meeting with the architects again. And we've got some more detailed meetings coming up with, we've got a library meeting, library staff meeting, which I need to tell them about. I just had a meeting right before this one, so we haven't even updated my own staff. And then, the Friends and the Foundation, the architects are going to attend their meetings through Zoom. And, so they're each organization's gonna get their own personal session with the architects. And, yeah, we've gotta start doing some fundraising soon. And I know it's hard to figure out what comes first, you know, the money or the plan. But we all have to make some tough decisions, and I know we're gonna try to get as much done as we can and make it look as great as we can. But chances are strong that we'll probably have to do this in a phased approach. We'll do the grant funded work and as much as of the nice stuff as we can get. And then come up with cost estimates and a plan for the next phase, and then go out and raise that money. So I think that's what's gonna happen. And we're gonna be expecting, I think we're gonna go to council in January with some numbers and some ideas. I think at that point, but you too can chime in too, because you were there.
Well, I appreciate the way you summarized it all. It was very upbeat overall, very exciting to get started.
Cone of silence.
Yes. I will just say that, yes, it's absolutely clear that we are gonna have to start raising some money. And I appreciate the debate we're gonna have to have. Do we have the plan, or do we have the money and then the plan, or vice versa, right? Well, in my own experience, for what that's worth, it has to kind of go simultaneously. A tentative plan informs the feasibility study, which then gives you hopefully a realistic number of what you can raise, which then is cause for adapting the plan accordingly. So, you know, I think we're gonna need kind of a several step approach to that question. But overall, it seems to me that this is all important, but it's also becoming urgent. That's my rambling. I'll turn it over to you for more wisdom.
I appreciate it. Not necessarily more wisdom. I think we're in excellent hands with Group 4. They're very impressive. They're sensitive to our timelines, which really gets my attention, because we have a short period of time to have this all accomplished, to use the state money. But they're sensitive. They're working with two other libraries that are in the same situation. And their experience, their experience is very impressive. So we're, again, in good hands. We have some decisions to make coming up. So hopefully everybody's gonna be well informed so we can make good recommendations. All right.
The thing that I didn't realize about Group 4 is that they only do municipal projects. Did you catch that?
No, I didn't.
That they only do government. They only do government architecture, and so, and they're very experienced in libraries.
Yeah,
So
That I did pick up,
Yeah.
which is wonderful. And they showed us some pictures of things they've done before. You go, wow.
they're beautiful.
Yeah,
Can
exactly.
you remind me how long what is the timeline in terms of the grant money?
We have to have the grant funded portion completed by March of 2026.
Okay.
And they think that we can, they're very
Committed or
Thank you.
done?
done.
Done.
But that doesn't mean, you know, that part can be done, and then the rest, you know, we could lay the carpet,
Sure.
you know, April 1st, or, you know, so
Yeah.
that
Okay.
part has to be done.
Okay.
So that's a really good question, but it doesn't mean the whole project has to be done at that time, but the architects are optimistic. Oh, and I see Bill has his hand up, so we'll
Bill?
hold on.
There he is. Well, there's his name.
Yeah, Bill, we'll just, you can
I-
just talk.
I just unmuted, yes. So on the lines of the David and Craig's comments, what comes first, the plan or the money? Are there more, or is there any more information regarding the city's potential plan for a bond issue.
We are still working on that part, so the city is working on that right now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Okay, I don't think we need a motion. That was just information, correct?
Yes, and as far as I know, my understanding is you probably want that on the agenda every month, just
Yes,
an
please.
update.
Yeah.
Especially right now, we're very hot and busy on it.
Were there any questions or comments for staff? Okay, great. Let's move to item Roman numeral 8. Trustees and staff comments. I don't want to be the lead on this. Does anybody else have any comments? Okay, my comment is something that I probably should have brought up at the meeting with the architects. I did make this comment to some. Is it more cost efficient to, instead of revamping, remodeling the Fry building, to take that money and make it an additional space onto the library that would serve what we thought the Fry building was going to serve?
Yeah, she got a they mentioned that today in our meeting and they don't think so. They
Okay,
think that, the ballpark, cost per square footage that they've estimated for that building is very inexpensive compared to building a new building or building an equivalent square footage in a new space. So they think it's still a good cost,
okay,
a good use of our money to go ahead and fix up that building
okay.
for
Thanks.
what its purpose is.
Thanks for
right now.
addressing that, because that was a concern that I had.
Yeah, they did mention that. They said, oh, someone asked that question and,
That was me.
yeah, no. And sorry, Al, we, missed out, but did you have any questions about
No, I
that?
apologize.
It's okay.
My back is acted up and that was the doctor's office trying to figure out whether I'm gonna get another epidural or not.
Did you, have any comments about the library renovation? Okay, sorry, Craig, go back.
And I'll watch the video for that session.
Yeah, and you can email me.
Okay, are there any comments from trustees? Okay, we'll go to an adjournment. Thank you all for your attendance. Our next meeting is December 6th.
Yeah, and happy Thanksgiving. Isn't that crazy?
Coming up.
It's not even November.
So we're adjourned.
We are adjourned. Oh.
So it's.
Good timing, Al.
Yeah. When did you come back?
Yeah, that